Слава Украине. Мы очень болеем за вас.
Hello, and welcome back to the Borgata Summer Poker Open here in Atlantic City. We are bringing you the Super Deep 6 Max final table here. Started with over 400 players, 401 to be exact, and we are now down to our final 6, playing for over $40,000 today. I am joined by a new face, James Tedrow. Thank you for hopping in the booth for us.
Yeah, of course. Excited to be here.
Yeah, should be a pretty good final table here. As I mentioned, we have our final 6 here. We have Frank, hailing from Belleville, New Jersey, looking to take home that top prize. A man that needs no introduction here, Bin Wang. You can see those lifetime earnings cross over $10 million. Someone who's well established here at the Borgata. Next we have Ryan, a new coming professional out of Liverpool, New York.
What would be the blinds?
Looking to make his name here.
40-80.
You're on camera right now. If you want to, you're on camera. If you want to smile, wave, anything like that.
He's not on the scene.
Next we have Lee, looking to add to her lifetime earnings here. Already, I believe, this cash being her largest cash to date, so good luck to her and congratulations.
Smile, wave.
Next we have Yuri from Brooklyn, New York, coming down and trying to create something out of this tournament. $650 buy-in. You can see
You need now?
the payouts here.
Okay.
Not just yet, actually. Here we'll show the stack sizes. Pretty relatively even mix amongst the group. No clear short stack, no obvious big stack. Georgie with a 56 big blinds being our leader.
I did put my tax ID in the form. So
Should be pretty good here, James. We're not going to see anybody locked up immediately. You know, there's no 5 big blind, 10 big blind stack. I think we're going to get a lot of playability here.
Yeah, for sure.
okay.
Do we think there's going to be any intimidation factor from the other players going up against somebody like Bin here?
Yeah. C6.
Yeah.
Next time gonna be the bun. Right now it's decimal.
There very much could be been a very familiar face, I'm sure, with a lot of these players.
So it's small. The last time was button.
But there's also a chance
Now he's bun though.
everyone's already played with Bin at some point in this tournament or
Yes,
throughout the
So
series.
small,
Definitely
okay,
true.
okay.
Getting underway here for our first hand of the FT. The 6 players remaining have $7,400 locked up. We'll go ahead and flash the payouts as we continue to move on.
And we see a walk our first hand.
Nice way to start that for Frank here in the big blind. Doesn't need to fight for those chips. Now, you've been out here grinding the whole series, James. You've, I believe, just bagged for the 500 almighty stack. You got something for that Sunday, and then you also have a main event ticket, I believe.
I do. I won online BetMGM Satellite 250, which I was able to win a main event ticket. So I'm looking forward to playing that.
Yes,
Not sure
great.
which starting day I will be playing yet. I think I have 3 choices. So
Plenty of time to decide that as well.
yeah. I also have day 2 of the Almighty on Sunday, which I believe is day 1A. So
Gotcha. Here we're going to see Georgie raise with the ace-jack suited and seemingly not find a lot of action versus an early position raise. Bin the queen 5, just going to go straight into the bin. Yeah, those satellites are a great way to make it here at the Borgata and play a higher buy-in event. We'll get to that a little bit later, but for now, you can see the payouts here. The pay jump for 5th place being worth roughly $1,700.
yeah,
Why not?
this was a $650 buy-in. So 6th place is already made a decent decent payday for a $650 buy-in tournament.
Absolutely, and these 6-max tournaments are quite fun as well. Just knowing that you're going to be in the mix for so long, it's quite an active tournament. You're not going to be sitting around for too long. You're playing lots of hands.
And we see a raise with the pocket twos to 200,000, which is 2.5 the big blind. And for the third hand in a row, we are not going to see a flop.
Yeah, a little aggressive from the pocket deuces open. Sometimes those pairs don't perform too well at final tables, but when the aggression works, no reason not to.
One interesting aspect, I think, of the difference between live and online here is the big blind ante, right? Because the big blind is posting the entire ante for the entire table. So there is a little bit more money in the pot pre-flop each hand. So I suppose it does make a little bit of sense to widen your range if there is more money in the pot.
Yes, me and you, notoriously mostly online players, although you've been in the live streets a little bit more recently.
Yeah, mostly online for the past year or so, but figured I'd make the trip out here from Pittsburgh. But
quite a hike.
Yeah, but it's nice to get out to here, see some people I mostly play online with.
Oh yeah, it's a beautiful day out here in Atlantic City, nice and sunny.
And I think we're going to see our first big hand here. It looks like we have a raise from the ace-king and the 3-bet from Frank with the pocket tens from the cutoff.
Yeah, still trying to gauge what the chip denominations are, unfortunately, but that looked like for a lot of his stack.
Yeah.
And he's only operating off of 24 bigs or something like that. Maybe a little less. So stack isn't super deep, and yeah, the 3-bet is to the vast majority of his stack. And another ace-king from Georgie just flatting.
This is quite the contrast from the first 3 hands we've seen.
Yeah, and Yuri kind of being put in a gross spot already, facing the cold call out of the big blind. I mean, that's a strong range.
Yeah.
Likely not going to be a hand like ace-queen off. So against a range as tight as what it probably is, hard to really gauge where you're at.
Yeah.
Yuri mulling over his options. You could hear the audible reaction initially, which is kind of interesting given that there's a decent amount behind to play for, but it's hard to imagine there'd be any folding if Yuri jams.
And Georgie was the chip leader coming into this final table, I believe, too.
Correct, yes.
So he would be at risk here if he decided to move in as well. Okay, he is going to fold.
Yeah, he's going to take his chances at getting a pay jump here. And hope that Frank gets eliminated.
Yeah,
don't show. He's not all in.
Okay, yes, we are not all in, I suppose. Oh,
Yeah.
He did show his cards also.
A little bit of confusion given that Frank.
He's not all in quite yet. Yeah. He put in most of his chips. He exposed his cards.
Someone could just call.
He did leave behind about 1 big blind, it looks like.
Right, so not committed yet. This is a mistake that I would be much likely to make as well, given that I don't play live too much. Understandable. Just getting it all situated.
Frank obviously doesn't know this, that Yuri folded ace-king, but that is obviously good news for his pocket tens here. We'll see what the flop brings, though.
You can see that in the equities right now. Tens
yes.
Normally a flip versus ace-king, but 70% here.
He calls.
Get a water.
He shows his cards before the flop.
Yeah.
Yep. So he's playing him up. Okay. All right. You guys ready for a flop?
Yep.
We have some love for Frank in the comments right now. Oh, and Georgie is going to spike at king on the flop.
All in.
Players all in.
Yeah,
And
unfortunate given the percentages we saw.
Do I open?
and Frank will put in his last big blind here.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, not much you can do. Yuri, I'm sure, very happy at the sight of a king here.
I don't know.
Frank's going to need some help to stay alive. Only a 10 on the river can save his day.
Sorry.
Frank will go out in 6th place.
You
here.
wanna call?
Yeah,
I
good
call,
game.
I can.
Cash
But I
for
Well,
roughly
how should I know?
$7,000.
Huh?
We'll get the exact pay jump flashed here in a moment, but unfortunate for him, not much he could do.
I felt fair.
Pre-flop cooler.
Huh? Chairs are hard to move.
Hopefully he can be happy about the ride here, though. As you can
Yeah,
see
I
now,
think in this
$7,400 locked up, bringing Yuri and the rest of the crowd here a guaranteed cash of
But I
$9,140.
think you were expecting a better hand in my hand, yeah?
No, I
Like
know,
aces,
I know,
maybe.
I know. Big hand, two people big hand. Jacks over. Jacks over.
Can hear Yuri reflect on that fold.
Okay. Now it's cheaper.
And now the impact of the big blind ante, as you mentioned earlier, gets a little bit bigger as we get shorter handed. More money in the middle relative to the amount of players compared to a normal ante.
Yeah, we see with Ben with the ace-7 offsuit here in the cutoff. I would imagine we're going to see an open here. And we do.
Raise to 160.
Yeah, especially at final tables, just having an ace is so important to reducing the chances you get raised behind. Just trying to figure out what that patch was on Ryan's sweatshirt. Looked pretty nice. King 7 off for Lee. A hand that's kind of on the cusp of can probably do whatever.
Yeah. Does elect to fold. And Ben will take down the pot.
Yeah, a very nice fold given the holding she was up against, being dominated by the ace-7. By the way, if you're looking to make your way out here to Atlantic City at the Borgata to play some of these events, more specifically the main event here, hop online. You can play online in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, or Michigan. Play some of the saddies. There's step saddies even to get into the $250 tournaments that, if you win, get you a free entry to the $2,700 championship here later next week, or I guess technically early next week.
Yeah, in fact, the satellite I won, I believe that was from a $25 tournament into a $250, and then I turned that $250 into the $3,200 package for the main.
Nice little 1,000x or 100x of your money.
Yeah, not too bad. Pocket nines in the small blind here for Lee. Raises it up to 250K, and unfortunately Yuri has the worst hand in poker here. Imagine we're going to see a fold.
Yeah. You want to fight back, but you can't really do it with that hand. And Lee kind of putting the pressure on early here and setting the tone that, you know, they might be blind a little bit deeper compared to the different stacks, but she's going to be willing to play some bigger pots and get out there and separate herself as a chip leader.
Yeah. Yeah, Lee has played poker for 20 years, she has said, and she is married with 2 kids from Piscataway, New Jersey.
Hope they're cheering along from home.
I'm sure they are.
Yeah, no newcomer at all.
Yeah. Georgie does elect to fold the ace-6 there in the cutoff, where we saw Ben a couple hands ago open an ace-7 offsuit in the cutoff. So just one of those hands that I think players will play somewhat differently based on how they're going to approach this final table.
Yeah, it's slightly uncomfortable, even though you do have the chip lead. Bin in the big blind as well, a player who's willing to play big pots and be aggressive. Some of that image being potentially put to use there.
We see Yuri limp the small blind here. And Ben has the option now whether to raise or check and see a flop.
Yeah, this feels like a relatively natural hand that wants to check, being suited, in position. He agrees.
And we see the ace 5-5 flop with Ben flopping 3 of a kind here, and actions on Yuri.
Check.
Yuri decides to check it over, and a quick check from Bin. Kind of surprising. Trying to paint the illusion that he's weak, and a spade on the turn here is going to give Yuri a flush draw as well to go with.
Do you like a lead here, or do you prefer a check and see what Ben does here?
I think a lead here could be nice. I think you can fold out some, better 10 high, jack high type hands, maybe even some queen high, but
Does elect to fire 2 big blinds into the pot.
it's a pretty healthy bet given the size of the pot. And I wonder if Bin decides to spring the trap a little bit here. Surely Yuri can have some ace-x that would play like this.
Yeah, I think this is a spot too where if you have some experience playing with your opponents over the last few days, it could definitely help knowing whether an opponent might fire another bluff on the river here. Would incentivize you to just slow play your 5 as opposed to raising.
That's true too. Also how they would bluff, if Yuri might take a nothing burger hand like a, I don't know, like 9-6 offsuit, then those hands would just fold versus raise. But if he's bluffing with a little bit more equity like he does here, it starts to be a little bit enticing to call. Although we can see here the exact percentages are not favoring him at all.
Does elect to call, and we are going to see a river here with Yuri having 6 outs. Queen of Hearts is not one of them.
Yuri, thinking about his options, decides to check. I think this is a pretty nice check. It could be tempting to bluff at the end here if you miss your draw, but playing in flow also quite nice.
I wonder if we could even see an all-in here from Ben with 1.3, and there's about 1.2 in the pot. It's going to put an ace, we can see Yuri's cards here, but if Yuri did have an ace, I think that would put him in quite a predicament if he was facing a jam here. We'll see what Ben decides to do here, though.
Yeah, I think Ben's doing the exact same thing right now, just giving a count to see where his stack is in relation to the pot. And once he finds out that it's just about pot, I think the bet's going to be close. But, I mean, this is more half pot-ish, right? Or maybe even smaller?
Yeah, he could be just targeting. No, quick fold. What was the bet?
Actually kind of bigger, yeah. Roughly 66% of the pot or something like that. And he gets a quick fold. That's going to be a big one for Ben.
Yeah.
Bad news for the rest of the table. Never fun when Ben is the one who has chips.
We do see that Georgie is the overwhelming chip leader at this point with 84 big blinds. And it's pretty interesting. I mean, all the other stacks are within 8 big blinds of each other. So there is going to be quite a bit of pressure on, the 4 mid stacks, I guess we can call them at this point, to kind of navigate, because there is an incentive to just kind of, ladder up and increase your payout. And at the same time, you do want the chance to double up to potentially take on the chip leader at this point.
Right. Also leaves a lot of room for post-flop playability. I think a lot of the Borgata final tables have done a good job of that, just not being pre-flop all-ins all the time, especially when you get down to five-handed. That's what it can sometimes feel like, but a lot of room to battle here.
9-3 offsuit for Bin in the small blind here.
Been somebody who's always looking to get involved into a pot if he can. It's a pretty bad hand, but one that he's mulling over and can just see the potential benefits of playing a pot.
Raise to 285.
Looks like he makes it 285.
Yeah, this is really interesting.
Ryan was definitely a hand that you'd like to see a flop with here.
Yeah, I'm assuming he's going to find a call here. They are probably a little bit too deep for this hand to jam, although it might happen at some lower depths. I am kind of shocked that Bin decided to raise the 9-3 off instead of limp.
And we will see a flop here.
Merits to both, of course. Pretty dry board all around. The king 6-5 doesn't hit either.
Yeah, and I would imagine we see a c-bet from Bin here. The king high flop should be pretty good for his opening range. And unless Ryan decides to get creative here, you should see Bin take this one down.
Blind is coming for you.
That's 220.
Small bet, roughly 33% of the pot.
Ryan does decide to fold. And Ben picks up a
Lucky
nice
five
spot
again, huh?
with pure aggression.
Yeah, that's a pot that a lot of players aren't really going to pick up ever. You have to be very creative and locked in to kind of be aware of something like that. You know, I alluded that I might just limp that hand initially, but aggression oftentimes just works at these final tables, especially when you're experienced as somebody like Bryn.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of people might just look down at that 9-3 offsuit and just fold.
Yeah.
So
I can just skip that. Move.
Earns himself a nice one. And I assume at this stage, his goal is to kind of separate himself a little bit from the rest of the pack. Georgie's very clearly the chip leader, but if he can get himself up to the 40-45 big blind range, then he can start thinking about getting heads up and playing for first.
You will see in 30 minutes what you had.
That's going to help.
yes, the two black kings for Ben here on the button is going to be a welcome sight for him, and with his image, this could definitely
One raises to 160.
definitely cause other players to maybe not respect this raise as much. We are going to see, looks like two
160?
folds here. Yeah. Fortunately, the kings for Ben do not. Oh, is he going to show them? There he does.
Have to.
And I think that makes sense for him to show that. I mean,
Oh, of course.
don't show the 9-3, show the kings.
Yeah.
And
I'm just a little nit. I don't play any hands. Okay, Ben. We've seen enough of you over the years.
yeah, the 2023 WPT Player of the Year. For those who don't know, Ben.
I think he had a stretch in maybe 2023, plus or minus a year, where he had like 3 or maybe even more $1 million scores in that stretch, something absurd like that. He's no stranger to high pressure spots.
Yeah. And we're going to see an open here from Ben, I'm sure.
You can also see on the back of Bin's chair the Summer Poker Open sweatshirts given to all the final tablists. They get a little swag package along with the cash.
I mean, who cares about cash when you get a nice hoodie like that?
Yeah, of
For real,
course.
I mean, It's also on theme with the, looks like the orangish is the color of choice for the Summer Open here.
Yeah, a lot of cool branding for these series. Switching it up, I believe the spring was purple.
Okay.
Winter was maybe a darker color.
All right, got 3 players.
All right, we're going to see a three-handed flop here with Georgie with the King-8 suit in the small blind. And the Ace-5-5 flop is going to give Ben top pair.
4 checks.
Yeah, likely no kicker, though, by the end of the hand, so
Yeah.
I was curious if he would play it precautiously, and he does.
Yeah, I really like this check, actually, here.
3 checks.
And to be honest, I wouldn't even hate another one. But I think at this point,
1 check.
There, you're going to see it.
he agrees. Yeah.
We'll see if Georgie or Lee takes the bait here.
Checks.
Okay.
4 checks.
I think Ben will bet here, just maybe trying to target a random jack that somebody might have. I wouldn't expect to see a huge sizing here.
Yeah, there's really not much you can get paid from. Truly just hoping for, you know, a Jack 10 suited, Queen Jack suited, or from the big blind an offsuit hand that can call.
1 bets 200.
Yeah, so it looks like 200K.
Yeah, pretty solid sizing. I think a lot of people probably won't give him too much credit for checking an ace twice.
Yeah, I think this would probably get called by a jack probably 100% of the time if either one of them had that.
Yeah, I'd agree too. Potentially even trying to get called by something worse.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
As we
And-
just said, yeah, Ben with separating himself from the rest of the pack a little bit here, up to 43 bigs.
I believe that's the third hand in a row for Ben here.
Heating up.
Yeah, we have Mr. Ace King in chat here talking about how he rocks his hoodie often that he got as a swag package at one point.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I think I remember that. I think I remember seeing him on the FT. Mr. AK.
2 folds.
Sorry, Brandon, not sure where your swag pack was for PLO. Maybe if you
Raise to 1.
go hit up Dave, he'll get you something.
180.
Yeah, maybe it's only for the live stream FTs. I'm not sure.
See a raise from Georgie with the King Jack offsuit here. Chooses a 180K. And 7-5 in the big blind. Sitting on a little over 20 big blinds. We'll elect to fold here.
Yeah, a little too weak, I'd say. The rich get richer. Another fun comment from Sean McManus. I believe that's Yo Dude. This Ben has the 2 best back-to-back cashes on Hendon ever. Wins the 25K WPT. 2 weeks later, ships the 340 daily at Parks.
Who loves it more?
He shows out for all of it.
Folds.
In a similar spot, we saw Georgie fold an ace-6-0, and he folds the ace-7-0.
Yeah, I would like to see an open there. I think as the chip leader, you can really apply some pressure to these other stacks. I mean, you do have Ben in the big blind, but I mean, even Ben's going to have to respect the fact that the chip leader is opening into him, and then as the second place person, I mean, he's going to have to navigate because he obviously doesn't want to have too many big conflicts with the chip leader.
Right, I'm not sure how many players will be checking up on the stream for whole card information, but if that information does make its way, I think that might cause some adjustments from other players at the table. Potentially expecting the chip leader to be much more on the aggressive side. A lot of room to go, though. You can see the clock in the top right of your screen and the top left. About to go up a level after this hand.
3 folds.
Yuri with the Queen 10 of spades here on the button. I imagine we see an open here.
Yeah, I'm curious if even jamming is an option with the big blind ante, but I would probably lean more towards the min-raise option here that Yuri goes for. Ryan with the Doyle. A pretty hand in theory, but only pretty for that reason.
I did hear you and Cooch on stream the other day discussing hand nicknames. I see that as one that you know, that I think most poker players know. The famous 10-2 offsuit that Doyle Brunson won the main event with twice.
Do you have any favorite nicknames for hands that come to mind? I was alluding to mine to Cooch on the last stream being King Crab, the
yeah,
King 3.
I had never heard that one. I like that one a lot. The King 3. Kings, obviously, you know, kings, and the pocket threes as crabs. Very natural that we have a King Crab. What do we have? Are we coloring up here?
Looks like it. Quick little color up. You can see the current payouts here as we get that done for you real quick. Coloring up on the level increase. Looks like the next blinds will be 50,000 small blind, 100,000 big blind. Previously it was 80,000 big blind. So some of the short stacks gonna get a little bit shorter. Potentially some more pre-flop all-ins incoming.
The foreign level is 51.
If you're curious in learning more about the Borgata Summer Poker Open, feel free to head on over to Poker News, doing live updates for this tournament, all of the already occurring tournaments, and the ones in the future like the main event. You can follow your favorite player, see how they're doing, get information on payouts, all of that stuff. That is correct, Sean. That is surplus in the booth. I was able to drag him out of his online cave and come out here to Atlantic City for some commentary.
Yes. Happy to be here. It's nice to play with some actual chips and interact with human beings.
You have the chips on your online setup, though, right? That you shuffle with while playing.
I mean, doesn't everybody? You need to.
I don't.
You know?
I just got my mouse.
I mean, I don't know. It's there to gotta shuffle some chips while playing online, and helps you not make rash decisions. And if you need to.
That's true.
I don't know.
I've been seeing Jason Kuhn bring a Rubik's Cube around to some live stops recently. Just something he'll do quickly on a little break as he stands up for his under the gun spot.
And I believe you're going to be jumping in the Almighty tonight. Is that correct?
I think so. I think once this commentary ends, I'm going to be hopping in the night flight for that. Should be fun. Trying to find a bag for Sunday, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Might even come back tomorrow if I am unlucky, feeling determined.
Yeah, I think there's a flight going on right now for the Almighty. There's one at 5:15 tonight, I believe, and then two more tomorrow.
That's right.
That's a $500 buy-in with is it $750 guarantee? I think it is.
Something like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe even $1 million, but I don't want to speak out of
It's going to be
context. It's a big tournament for a $500 buy-in, so definitely get down here and show up. Yeah, $750. You're right.
Okay.
There might even be satellites to that tournament still running. I know at least they were earlier in the week, but I think there's been $50 to 500 satellites for that. I believe if you win one of those satties, it also comes with a little swag bag. So another way for you to get your hands on one of these Summer Poker Open hats or sweatshirts.
Yeah, there's also a little Plinko game that you get to play if you register online or win a satellite online, which I think provides you the opportunity of winning some online tickets in the upcoming BetMGM online series they're going to be running in a few weeks here.
That's right. I've not pulled the or spun the wheel or played the Plinko game yet, so I'm quite excited to if I end up firing. Here you can see the updated chip stacks with the blind increase. It's going to bring Yuri and Ryan around the 20 big blind mark. Lee hanging in there slightly above 24. And Georgie still with a pretty pronounced chip lead at 66 big blinds.
This is my first time commentating, Sean. Enjoying it. Two Flame has been very welcoming to the booth here, giving me the rundown.
I'm no expert either, but not too difficult, and feel like we've talked enough poker. You know,
Yeah,
I'm confident in your ability to be good in here. Here we go. Cards are back in play after the color up. Restart the clock and get back underway. Lee decides to fold the Jack-10 offsuit. Pretty close decision there. Can't remember if Giorgio is in the big blind. If so, that would make sense since he's the big stack. Don't really want to play a lot versus him.
interesting decision here, I think, for Ryan with the Queen 2 suited. I would imagine we at least see a call here to see a flop, hopefully.
Yeah, trying to think through the options. Is jam just too much? Potentially. Pretty high variance decision as well. He opts to just call, and we're going to see a flop here. That Georgie's going to whiff with his 7-4 suited on the King, Queen, 10 all diamonds. Ryan with second pair.
A quick check from Georgie behind.
8 of hearts on the turn. Should leave Ryan feeling fairly comfortable with his hand, but potentially being outkicked by a queen.
Yeah, and I think with this river, I think we're just going to see Ryan check and just try to show down his hand here and hope his queen is good. And Georgie's just going to give up and check here.
Queen is good.
Yeah, would have been uncomfortable facing a bet on the river there. I'm curious what Ryan would have deduced from that, depending on the sizing.
I also had a flash draw.
Yeah. The spades. Yeah.
Nice that.
Okay.
The board got worse and worse.
Yeah, there might be some rivers there that he could have bet with his second pair, but
Yeah, not that one.
Not on the 9 with completing the four card straight there.
Oh, it's
Little sketchy.
We definitely see a playable hand here with Yuri under the gun. Ace-Jack offsuit. Sitting on 19 big blinds.
Yeah, definitely enough chips to where you probably don't want to have many, if any, just open jams.
Here we see a Jack-10 suited from Ryan on the button here. This is a hand that you do love to see a flop with, but it does get a little...
Started with like 1.9.
1.9, yeah.
It gets a little rough when you're at a final table, high ICM pressure, and both under 20 big blinds here.
Yeah, he proceeds with a call. And, yeah, kind of just echoing your sentiment, finding the calls off of relatively shorter stacks is difficult in these positions. Kind of just setting yourself up to play a relatively sizable pot. You can see 650 already in the middle, even more with Lee coming along in the big blind.
Yeah, and this is going to be a very significant pot, I think. These are the 3 short stacks here. So whoever wins this pot, I mean, there's already, like as you said, there's 750 in the pot here, and that's, you know, it's going to increase somebody's stack by quite a bit here. Whoever can take down this this pot. Good flop for Yuri here. Top pair, ace of spades as well with the runner flush. Jack 10 here does flop second pair, so it'll be have a decision here facing a bet.
Yeah, very uncomfortable knowing your opponent can have so many ace-x hands, but you are on the button. You're going to have position, a decent amount of equity. I think it's a hand you probably should call, but is very uncomfortable, especially with Lee behind, who could just kind of have anything, really.
He's counting out his chip stack here, just doing some maths, you know, how much he might be left behind with if he does elect to call.
You can see the exact equities. Ryan only has 11%. A lot of that, though, due to Lee having the other jack. That doesn't really influence the equities too much, since Yuri has the ace-jack himself.
Yeah, jack would be a disaster here. Deuce of hearts is pretty much the blankest of blanks here.
Yeah, could have been hard for Ryan to get away on, you know, a club or a hand that gives him a straight draw as well. But if Yuri fires big, I think Ryan should feel fairly comfortable about a fold.
Does look like Yuri might be counting out a second bullet here.
It's hard to size up too big without going all in, though. You can see only 1.6 million in his stack, 1.2 million in the pot. So maybe if he does size small, he's able to get another nice value bet against the second pair.
Ryan's staring him down, looking for any information he might be able to get in this situation. Do we think Yuri's decided? Okay, he's gonna go all in here. Just a little bit more than the size of the pot, but I mean, it's kind of an awkward chip SPR here, stack to pot ratio.
Yeah, Ryan really mulling over why Yuri was taking so much time before jamming. I guess the counting out the stack is part of it.
Yeah.
But maybe thinking some of it is uncomfortability. Either way, he deduces he's probably behind and finds the good fold.
Yeah, and a very nice pot for Yuri here. Going to move into third place with 28 big blinds. Approaching Ben's stack here.
If you're enjoying the stream, make sure you toss a like, subscribe, be active in the chat. All of that helps us continue to offer these streams in the future. There will be many more streams over the next week or so. I believe some more cash game streams, at least, before the main event coverage starts. And we'll also be back with some tournament coverage on Monday for the almighty final table that I'll either be playing or commentating at.
Hopefully playing, though,
Hopefully
right?
playing,
okay.
But I wouldn't hate to be back in the booth either.
Ace-10 offsuit for Lee here in the small blind. Does elect to call. Oh, no, raise to 300K.
Yeah, it seems she's been taking this approach from the small blind. We saw a hand earlier where she used this sizing as a raise from the small blind rather than limping. Immediately putting a hand like Jack-8 off in a uncomfortable position. Yuri elects to proceed, though.
Oof.
Wow.
And Yuri will flop top pair here. Lee does have the 2 overs with a gutter, and the ace of diamonds is definitely not insignificant here.
Yeah, it's a key card, and for that reason makes this a pretty cooler of a flop here.
What do you think Yuri's? I mean, the top pair here is definitely vulnerable. So I think a raise could definitely be viable, but then you're just kind of in a rough position too if you face a jam. See what he decides to do here.
He decides to protect his hand a little bit, it looks like. Raises to a very small size.
Yeah.
seemingly not trying to fold out a hand like this that has a decent amount of equity, just chooses to get value from those hands instead and trust that nothing too scary happens on the board.
Yeah, and this is just a rough spot for Lee here. I mean,
yeah, I'm not sure if she's able to fold given the 2 overs, the backdoor diamonds, straight draw, but it's not comfortable either. You're right, especially out of position.
Lee will call. Looking for a 9 for a straight, or an ace or a 10 to take the lead with a pair. King of clubs.
Not the card she was looking for.
And probably not a card that Yuri's gonna love. I would imagine he's probably going to try to just get the showdown at this point. I guess there is some value in maybe betting small and just folding out a couple overs if that's what he believes Lee might have. But I mean, you know, Lee could also be ahead here.
Yeah.
So
I think there's also some options for Yuri to check though, but he decides to fire out a bet, seemingly small.
Yeah, 375, which is a very small sizing.
About 20-25% of the pot, I believe. And
yeah, and that's a very effective sizing there. I mean, you can see. I mean, Lee's in a tough spot. I mean, and you know, has a good amount of equity there, but it's just really tough to call that, even a very small sizing there. But I like that play by Yuri.
Yeah, very nice play. I think that size does exactly what it did. You know, it's that exact hand that you get priced out. You don't let it see or realize the equity that it has. You just take down the pot, nice and easy.
Yeah, and after that hand, Lee does move into 5th place here with 13 big blinds. So it's a stack that's going to do a lot of folding and jamming.
Yeah, the presence of 2 shorter stacks now with her and Ryan are going to create a little bit of lockup amongst the middling stacks of bin.
We do see Georgie with a real hand here, ace-king offsuit from the cutoff.
Big stack getting premiums.
Yep. The king of 5 for bin here in the big blind. A hand that could potentially decide to 3-bet if we think Georgie is raising too much here, but does just fold. Nice disciplined fold, especially considering what Georgie did have there.
Yeah, I think some of that might even be related to some of the stream coverage catching up where, you know, been seeing the ace-6 offsuit fold from him earlier.
Yeah, definitely a good point. We are on a 30-minute delay here, so what you're seeing live has happened 30 minutes ago to protect the game integrity.
We're watching on the delay as well, despite the true action occurring probably 20, 30 feet behind us.
Yuri opening it up here a little bit, deciding to raise the 5-4 offsuit.
Spicy.
Spicy indeed.
2 shorter stacks too, and I think it's just going to get through. Some well-timed aggression there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we'll see if this the theme here continues from Yuri, opening up his game a little bit here and trying to apply some pressure on the shorter stacks. You know, they have played you know, several hands now. Maybe they're picking up on opponent tendencies. Maybe they've played with each other over the past 2 days. You know, they might have a sense of who's going to give them trouble, who's going to fight back, who's going to just kind of fold and try to ladder up. It's kind of what makes these final tables fun, right?
Yeah, they did play final table or final 2 tables for some time yesterday, so some of these players likely familiar with each other, but they're on different tables. You're getting the first sample now.
Nice hand here from Yuri, too. I mean, if he's opening the 5-4 offsuit, I'd imagine we're going to see an open here with the Queen 9 suited from the cutoff.
Yeah, and I think some of this might be related to him overtaking Bryn in the standings for the chips right now, trying to put a little bit more pressure on while he can with the 2 shorties existing.
Doesn't look like Ryan or Georgie's going to have much to fight back with here. And Yuri does indeed take it down. This live stream table is located in the back of the poker room. So if you're at the Borgata and want to come scope it out, pop into the back and you can watch this action take live or happen live.
Yeah, there's a nice little seating area off to the side that you can sweat your friend or invite your family out if you make a final table here on stream. It's also nice TVs that show the action of the table itself, so you don't have to peer over. Queen Jack offsuit for Bryn, gonna open it up. No surprises there.
Lee with the King 10 offsuit here in the big blind as the short stack. Definitely good enough to at least see a flop here.
Yeah, jam also potentially seems on the table.
Yeah. This is a spot where anything that Lee can hit, I think they're going to get their stack in here. Ace-high flop, definitely going to favor bin here.
Yeah, even any 10 with an overcard, Lee's probably quite happy to get chips in, but this is not the board to do it. Bin's able to get the better hand to fold.
And Lee does move under 10 big blinds here.
Yeah, I think Ryan's right around there too, maybe a little bit above 12 big blinds.
Yeah.
The race to the bottom is starting.
Yeah, you kind of watch that big blind go around the table and kind of dread when it hits you because you have to pay the big blind plus the big blind ante. So you're losing, 2 big blinds right there off of your stack, which can certainly be significant when you're sitting under 10 big blinds already.
Oh yeah, it's haunting to see that come around when you have the shorty.
Especially 6-handed. Well, I guess 5-handed now. 5-handed table. It's going to come around pretty quickly. So you gotta definitely have to pick your spots.
Yeah, and Lee gonna have a spot to pick right here with the King 7 suited. I would probably lean fold. She agrees.
It's an interesting spot here with the Ace-5 offsuit and the big blind facing the open from the chip leader on the button.
Yeah, given the presence of the other shorter stacks, likely not going to be 3-betting a ton here. Just going to be playing passive post-flop, small ball poker. But this is one of the hands that you can put aggression on, blocking the better hands in the opener's range. And I think that is a call. I like this call. Kind of easy to overdo.
We see Georgie flop a set here. And the Ace-5 does have some interesting backdoors here. It has backdoor diamonds, backdoor straights, and your Ace-High could be good. So definitely not an automatic check, bet, fold here. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, especially versus a small bet.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if Georgie's going to try to size a little bit bigger on a board like this, where there's a lot of turn cards that can change the texture. Looks like he sizes a little bit above half pot, and that size might be enough to discourage a hand like this, but it's kind of right in that middle zone.
Yeah, we do see the fold.
I think that's a good fold.
I think so too. Georgie's probably not showing any emotion there, but obviously in his head he is annoyed that he didn't get more action with that set of sixes there.
Yeah, you can see the hand over the mouth.
Yeah.
About halfway through this level, once again, you can see the timer in the top left and right there on the TVs. 40-minute levels. Queen 8 suited, a hand right on the cusp, I would say, between opening, folding. He folds. I think that's probably a sharp decision.
Let's see what Yuri decides to do here. Oh, he's going to lay down the 6-2 suited. Ben did have him dominated though, so with his 9 deuce off. So.
I like that that Ben took a peek there as well. Some players superstitious. They don't want to look at the big blind if they get walked, if they see a hand like aces. No fear for him. Show me the goods. Do you take a peek at your hole cards if you get a walk, James?
I do.
Yeah.
I mean, chances are they're bad, right? So.
Can't be too bad.
Yeah.
You can see a nice hand and flip it over for the table, get some laughs.
Yeah. Six-4 offsuit now on the button, a little slightly better than the 4-5 off.
300.
Wow.
We see the theme continuing. Yuri putting on pressure here.
I think it's just going to work again.
Yeah, and by winning this hand, I think he's going to move into second place behind Georgie.
Also somewhat notable, he decides to use this open to 300K rather than the rather more common min size to 200.
Yeah, is there any is there any viability in that because of the small or the big blind having a small stack there? It kind of encourages him not to flat as much and maybe just kind of put him in a more pressure just to make a decision pre-flop there, and I don't know.
Yeah, I could see merit to that, especially with the big blind ante, 5-handed, you know, a little bit more in the middle, discourage some calls. I don't think it's the worst idea, but I think it is important to be aware of when you are choosing certain sizes with which hands.
Yeah.
Got to make sure that you're not only doing it with kind of bad hands that you don't want to see a flop with.
Okay, so interesting. Lee decides to raise off of the 9 big blind stack here. Jamming just very viable with the ace-9 suited here. Couple hands behind here. Now, if you see a player raise, 225K off of this stack, is that sending alarm bells off in your head here?
Definitely. I think, a lot of the value hands that are going to do this are very, very strong, like queens plus.
Right.
I think the question you have to ask yourself is this person capable of having the normal opens for this size or the bluffs that would do this? And I think often it can be hard to because it's uncomfortable to do that with bluffs.
Right.
Which is why I think we can see some of the strong-ish hands behind, like the ace-7 decides to not put the pressure on, king-jack decides to fold. So maybe that speaks to some of the effectiveness of this open off a short stack.
Interesting call by Georgie here. We have seen Georgie play a little bit of snug pre-flop. Does decide to see a flop here. Does flop bottom pair. We'll see how he approaches this. See how Lee approaches it too. I mean, doesn't
Yeah,
not a flop that she's gonna love.
from both perspectives, it's not obvious what is best or what is likely to happen.
Does check. Pretty good turn for Lee. Picks up a flush draw here, and oof, Georgie's just gonna push in. It looks like,
Wow.
and gonna get it in ahead actually.
I think
Wait.
George is going to be quite surprised to be ahead here.
Yeah.
A lot of equity for Lee, though. She's going to need some help in order to stay alive. A diamond and an ace and 9, all working for her.
Diamond.
Ooh, hits the diamond.
Jack.
Jack of diamonds on the river, drills it to save her tournament life.
Yeah, and Lee's gonna double up here to right around 2 million, I believe.
Yeah, some room to work with now, and some pressure that's going to be put on Ryan. Believe the big blind coming around to him soon off of his short stack.
Yeah, and I'm sure Ryan wasn't loving seeing that diamond on the river there. Ryan would have liked to see Lee go out in 5th and take the ladder, especially sitting on the 11 big blind stack here.
And see some of the separation Yuri has created for himself with the wider opens up to 38 big blinds, but Georgie still with the overwhelming chip lead at 57. Player is guaranteed $9,100 for remaining in the tournament. First place prize upwards of $41,000.
Yeah, Ryan's gonna like that it folded to him here, but I don't think he's gonna like looking down at the Jack 5.
Yeah, you want the opportunities to jam. Can't force it though.
Georgie does raise here in the small blind to a small sizing. Lee, due to that small sizing, is going to be able to continue here with the 5-3 of diamonds.
Yeah, that small sizing could be effective, especially if you're not really getting 3-bet as frequently. But I also see reasons for sizing up, potentially price out some hands of Lee. The king 8 flop, not going to connect with anybody.
Now we're going to just see who wants it more. Okay.
Lee fires out a bet and gets a fold.
Yeah, good for Lee, getting Georgie off the chop there.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if that one was going to go check down potentially. I mean, fairly likely one of those players could have a hand like a queen. Another jam spot for Ryan that unfortunately cannot be taken. Georgie with the king 6 of diamonds, though, going to be quite happy to raise this one up, I assume, and he does.
Also choosing the 3x sizing that we saw earlier.
Yeah, I don't think he was using that sizing earlier in the final table, or maybe we just didn't see enough opportunities for it. I think that is going to create some interesting responses potentially. You know, sizing up creates more of a reason to potentially jam over it, take down more pre-flop.
Yeah, unfortunately, Ryan just has not seen very many good hands at this final table.
Yeah, came in on the shorter side, I believe. Hasn't been able to escape that just yet.
See what Lee decides to do with here with the Jack-10 offsuit. I like this open.
Yeah. Can be uncomfortable, but I think it's pretty nice.
Been thinking.
Yeah, feels a little bit too weak to continue, especially for roughly 20 big blinds effective.
Yeah, it seems like you deciding between folding and potentially maybe 3-betting here. I'm not. It seems like he wouldn't be taking this long if he was going to call, but you know, who knows? It would be quite the interesting spot to decide to 3-bet.
I feel like 3-bet isn't the craziest option either.
Yeah, I mean, it's a spot where you're not expecting your opponent to flat too many 3-bets, so your actual cards don't matter too much besides just wanting to, you know, potentially block their good hands or.
And what a sick find.
Yeah, this is pretty sick.
See some of the bin magic being put to use here.
Ooh. Cutting out some calling chips.
Come on, Lee.
Or maybe just counting chips.
Oh.
Looked like Lee didn't believe it though.
I don't think she did either.
Yeah.
Well earned from bin though. That's once again another pot that I think a lot of people aren't going to be ending up pushed their way. Gets it done though. Yeah, it did look like Lee wanted to call so bad, or potentially even just rip over it, but
yeah,
I think in some scenarios that can be a little bit reckless despite us seeing the whole cards there.
Mm-hmm. Especially just doubling up, maybe, you know, maybe she's feeling a little more comfortable now with their slightly larger chip stack. Doesn't want to give it away just now.
Mulling it over some more.
Yeah. Let's see if Ben now decides to maybe pick up the aggression here. This is a spot where a small raise could be pretty effective just because he's you know, raising into a very small stack, so it's not going to take much to get him to fold, but it does decide to call here and try to see a flop.
Yeah, the call's kind of interesting. I would have expected in this chip dynamic for Bin to have a lot of open jams and predominantly play either that or just a raise. He opts to keep the pot a little bit smaller and potentially do some post-flop magic.
Yeah, and if you're Bin here and you just watched your opponent check back off a pretty small big blind stack, I think there's a lot of hands that would just jam there pre-flop and take down a pretty sizable pot to, you know, the percentage of your stack. So I think he can pretty safely assume that the big blind's not going to have amazing hands at that spot.
Right.
So it does allow him just to bet small there and take down a pot.
And just the sheer amount of trash hands that are going to be in that range, it's very hard to find the right amount of continues or check raise at the right frequency, or
yeah,
I guess
for
not
sure.
check raise, but
50,
put on pressure in some capacity.
150.
And right off the bat here, we do see two legitimate hands.
Yeah, I wonder how Yuri's going to proceed, though. I mean, can probably feel fine about 3-bet getting it in. Likely going to be flipping, though. I also see some reasons to just call.
Yeah, we have seen Lee be pretty active. Oh, wow.
Yeah, Bin lurking behind with the ace-king.
Yeah, we're definitely going to see. I mean, this is pretty sick. I mean, because we have Yuri with, 35 big blinds starting the hand, Ben with 38, and Ryan with, 8. So this is just a very high ICM pressure here that's, Yuri's and Ben are both going to have to consider.
Yeah, Yuri and Bin are 35 big blinds effective. I mean, you just cannot feel great about yourself calling off 10s with an 8 big blind stack, but you are just getting a pretty good price, especially after the open and your 3-bet. I wonder if Bin decides to use a non-all-in size. First giving his chips a count and puts it in.
Let's see what sizing he chose here. Yeah, I mean, this is a sizing that, I mean, if you think Ben can have bluffs here, I think it's going to be, oh my goodness, we have Georgie with the ace-jack suited here too. I mean, this has got to be a fold, I'd imagine, but I mean,
yeah,
still.
Facing this action, I don't think there's much he can do, but
yeah,
that would have been hilarious if he just shoved it in himself.
I mean, what do you do with your, I mean, against somebody who you think can have bluffs here, I mean, I'd imagine it's going to be hard to do anything, but I mean, I guess, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't even know what you do here. This is a cold 4-bet. I mean, this is strong.
It is very strong. But you do have a pretty strong hand, 5-handed, and you're facing against somebody that can definitely potentially have bluffs here.
Yeah, I think a computer might even tell you to fold a hand like this, but I'm not too confident about that.
Yeah.
Yuri similarly not too confident in what to do, and very understandably why.
Yeah. Does pretty quickly fold.
Yeah.
Which, I mean,
That's a really tough spot.
yeah. Don't envy being at the table having to make that decision.
Yeah, I'm not sure what I would have done, but I think I like the decision to fold, especially, shorter stacks at the table. You can fairly easily get a ladder if you wait a few more hands.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the dynamic of Ryan having a small stack here is definitely something the players are going to have to consider.
Yeah, what a spot. We'll see what mood that puts Yuri in here. He decides to fold. He's been opening a little bit wider as he accumulated some chips in the past few hands, but after getting knocked down a little bit, being a little bit more cautious now.
Yuri quickly completes the small blind, and we will see a flop.
Georgie, that is.
Georgie, yes.
Similar sounding. Quick checks. And a quick check again from Lee, who has the very low flush draw that bricks out.
This would be a chop again if it checks down, but Lee once again is going to bet and prevent that chop from taking place.
Yeah, Lee finding the aggression on the check lines, challenging the weak ranges, building up that cushion from Ryan.
Shout out to all the wonderful dealers here at the Borgata too. They've been doing a great job all week, and these series are definitely a lot of work for them as well.
Yeah, especially on the live stream tables too, where, a little bit of a different environment. They're not always on camera. They use slightly different cards that are a little bit thicker, so they can be detected for the live stream. So very much appreciated. Doing quite a nice job keeping the stream running smoothly. I think this one must be one of the first or second times we see Lee limp from the small blind rather than opt to raise herself. In this situation, makes sense, covered by a decent amount.
Yeah, and I wonder if Yuri's picking up on that as he makes it 400K here.
Yeah, that might be part of it.
Yeah. Also, just, you know, can put a good amount of pressure on Lee with the differences in their chip stack here.
Yeah, it takes it down, and I think that is probably in due part because of what we just alluded to. I believe this will be the last hand of our level before we bump up the blinds.
Yeah, it looks like we'll be moving to 50K, 150K blinds after this. And Ryan does find a hand that he can jam with, ace-3 offsuit here.
Yeah.
Under the gun. Looks like it might get through.
Just in time for the not only the big blind coming around to him, but also the blind increase.
He does take it down, picks up a pot there, and is rewarded by having to put 300K into the middle.
Right back in the middle.
And we do have a dealer switch here.
Десятки. Ты что? Выкидал? See? Yeah.
So we can see our payouts here.
Ну да,
41K to the winner today.
Я думаю, что у него, а?
Я думаю, нормально я стоял.
Not a bad payout for a $650 tournament.
Ну сейчас, когда я рейс, yeah?
Yeah, especially for a
Не,
six
я
max
думаю,
too.
что там сильный диапазон был. Думаю, дамы, туз, король. Валеты, дамы, туз, король.
The six max tournaments usually get slightly lower participation compared to some of the massive fields that run here at the Borgata, but I think if you get in there, I think the player experience is probably going to be a little bit more enjoyable in these six max tournaments where you're playing more hands, you're getting active, getting your money's worth. Recommend a lot of people to try it out.
And not only that, you get more table or room at the table.
That too.
You aren't squeezed in there so tightly, so don't discount that.
No cup holder fighting.
Yeah.
He shot
for
you.
the bun. You know, last thing he showed,
Oh.
I just paid the big, so
Oh,
It's
yeah.
correct, yeah.
he's showing under the gun now. He's
You're
big.
right, you're right.
It's
Sorry.
correct.
Yeah. I just
You want to play button? Okay.
small buy.
Production confirmed.
I put small buy.
You my button, yeah.
I want my small buy.
Yuri protecting his button.
150.
Clarifying it real quick with Lee. Everyone's on the same page now.
Yeah, and it seems like all the players are pretty friendly with each other at this point. Even slight disagreements, they can work it out and laugh about it afterwards here.
Oh yeah. Good vibes here.
As it should be. Ooh, okay. We'll see here. I could see Ben jamming and Ryan calling here. We'll see.
Yeah, this is truly not that many chips. Roughly 8 big blinds, I think, before Ryan put in the ante in the blinds.
950.
950. is
Yeah,
the-
here we go.
I think Ryan's going to find the call.
Here's all in.
Yeah. And all things considered, Benson in pretty good shape here.
Yeah, this is a very annoying hand to see when you are Ryan. You're like, oh, it's just a very, very bad hand that unfortunately I'm flipping against.
But yeah, if needless to say, a big pot for Ryan to win here and potentially move to 2 million.
Yeah, put himself back up with where Lee is. holds strong on the ace-jack 3 flop.
Ben does pick up a few more outs here.
Yeah.
7 of diamonds is not one of them, and Ryan will double up here to 2 million. Ryan, a new poker pro, has been playing professionally now for, I believe, a couple months.
Yeah, something like that, according to his bio sheet that was handed to us. Hope
Yeah.
he's able to have a successful final table here to kickstart that.
Yeah, he listed his greatest poker accomplishment as coming in second of the mystery bounty in the fall open at the Borgata. So,
Oh, nice.
nice little score there. Mystery bounties can be a fun little change of pace.
I'm sure we'll continue to see more of him at the Borgata. Seems to make the trips out.
3 folds, 4 folds, 5 folds.
And that is somewhat of a hit to Ben's stack, dropping Ben down to 3.7
Raised to
mil.
300.
Comes in for an open here with the 10-7 offsuit on the button.
Yeah, and important to realize that 3.5 million of, or 3.7 million of bin is less than 30 bigs now. King Jack off for Georgie in the big blind.
Heads up.
Hand that's willing to tango.
Eight, 7-5 here. Ben flops second pair.
3 checks.
Yeah, this is a hand that I think Ben can either check or bet. He opts to check. Either seems good.
3 checks. 1 checks. 3 checks, 1 checks. King Jack.
Georgie's going to take this one down. A pair of kings that hit on the river.
Yeah. Jake in chat here asked for our online poker names, if you'd like to share yours.
I am 2Flame on most sites.
Yeah, and I play under surplus value.
Find us at the tables. Likely in any $50 tournament that's running.
Yeah. Ryan, gonna fold the 9-7 offsuit here on the button. Georgie with a pretty ace-7, or sorry, ace-6 suited.
Yeah, shoves it in himself into the 10 big blind stack of Lee. Yeah, fairly meaningful full blind increase from the last level, going from 100 to 150.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it's gonna maybe take a second for all that to calibrate with the players at the table, even myself looking at the numbers.
Where? Doesn't exist anymore. Oh, that's a different New York, yeah. Maybe. Very far from Buffalo.
Ben looks down at king 10 offsuit under the gun here. Opens to 300K, which is 2 times the big blind.
Yeah, not sure if he's going to be opening many worse hands than this, especially now that he's down to 22 bigs, roughly.
Yeah, and Lee does quickly move all in here with the ace-10 offsuit and right under 10 big blinds. I think this is a pretty standard play here.
Yeah, now Bin just trying to figure out if he has the equity to call. A little less than 10 big blinds, so a little bit more than 7 big blinds to put in the middle. I think if this is going to be one of the worst hands that you're opening here, like if he's not opening King-9 offsuit, then I think this is probably a pretty good fold. But I think a lot of the hands that you open, you're going to have to call here, like Queen-Jack suited.
Yeah, I think having a suited hand just is going to be nice there, just for the little added equity.
Finds the fold.
Okay.
Only one elimination so far at this final table. Both short stacks been at risk recently. Both finding the double up though.
Ryan with an ace-2 suited here.
Yeah, this seems like a close decision between all in
300
or just open.
Does choose the min open, which I think I like.
I think I like this too. I think kind of it is a lot to commit as a jam from that early of a position. Yuri might be able to pounce on that with a hand like this.
Yeah, and both Yuri and Bin under 20 big blinds here too at this point.
Nice.
Wow, okay. Does find a raise here.
Kind of spicy, a little click action.
Yeah, it makes it 650.
You can see the price that Ryan's getting. 350 to call a pot worth 1.2 million. Doesn't need to have much equity, but on the other hand, there's the chances of laddering up. Someone else gets knocked out. Also very unlikely that you're ahead. I guess maybe a king-queen type hand every once in a while. It's going to be a lot of ace-x holdings that are going to be employing this size, I would have to imagine. Also some pairs, though, like 10s to kings. You have decent equity versus that.
Yeah, and as we saw before, I mean, these when people use these smaller sizes, it can often set alarm bells off in people's heads. I mean, it's like, why are you making it so small? You're making it so enticing for me. But you know, that's the beauty of poker, right? It can be a psychological game where it's like, well, if you know that, I know this, and maybe I'll do this. I don't know.
Absolutely.
But Ryan does call in position here, and wow, he's gonna like that flop.
Oh. I think both players are gonna like this flop with not too much behind, less than pot in Ryan's stack.
And this will get in. I cannot imagine it won't unless Yuri does come out with a very, very small sizing. One big blind.
Which I think is actually kind of nice.
Yeah.
I think a lot of players might just decide to rip a lot of their hands, but in these high pressure situations, small bets like this are super effective.
For sure. And then Ryan has a decision here too. I mean, are you gonna fast play your two pair? Or are you gonna call and potentially let hands that are worse than you or close to have zero equity against you, continue firing? If he saw what Yuri had, I think he might just try to get it in now, which is what he does. And Yuri's not gonna love this. I mean, yeah. I mean, he does have the gutter to go with the ace here, which obviously is nice, but can't be loving his 4 kicker.
Yeah, kind of nasty. Like you don't expect a hand worse than a pair of aces to ever do this.
Right.
More of a question of how often do you chop with those aces? You have a lot of equity with your 4 as well. There's no flush draw on board, so there's
Right.
nothing obvious like a Jack 10 of hearts if it was a deuce of hearts instead. It's kind of hard to come up with the bluffs here that would need to be had. Just much more of a question of what equity do you have versus the value range.
Yeah, and I was wondering if maybe that one big blind sizing on the flop would allow him to potentially decide to fold here facing a jam. Because like you said, I mean, it's just very hard to come up with hands here that you beat.
Excuse me.
Yeah, it's like, I'm just trying to think of any hand really that would bluff here naturally, and yeah, it's hard. Can't really think of anything. Maybe like pocket 4s, pocket 3s. Those seem like kind of loose opens to
Yeah,
begin
exactly, you're right.
This would be quite an impressive laydown, despite the difficulty of it. Even if he calls, though, you can see the percentages are not too bad for him. I don't think it would be a mistake to call here at all.
No, I mean it's hard to make a huge mistake calling a pot that started on the flop under S1 SPR. I mean you have top pair and a gutter. I mean it's going to be hard to make a huge mistake here, but it's just added pressure of a final table, a lot of money up top, 5-handed. I mean this is a large percentage of your stack too if you're Yuri. Can change the dynamics of a final table pretty quickly based on winning or losing one hand.
Yeah, and that 700K he'd have afterwards, it's like, I guess he is in the button next, so he has a few opportunities before the blinds hit, but it's not much. It's like 4 bigs. Only gonna have a few opportunities to pick something up.
I do respect him for taking time with this decision too. I mean, a lot of people were just gonna have already stuck it in by now, I think. But I mean, yeah, that's an impressive fold, I think.
Yeah, very nice fold from Yuri. Kind of painful to not get paid there if you're Ryan, knowing that he might have an ace there. I mean, maybe Ryan's more likely to think he has a hand like jacks to kings, but
yeah,
a great fold nonetheless, and some more chips for Ryan.
Yeah, we can see Ryan moves all the way into second place after that hand with 21 big blinds. Definitely, the four bottom stacks are still definitely all kind of somewhat close together, with Georgie being the clear chip leader and picking up pocket 10s here under the gun is going to be nice for him.
Yeah, getting a lot shallower. Pressure increases. More pre-flop all-ins likely. And I think we're definitely going to see that with Ben here and Georgie. I feel like a lot of premiums have been dealt to both Ben here and Georgie.
Yeah, and it's funny that we see, Ben's been, I mean, at this point, he's less than 20 big blinds. I would imagine this is going to be an all-in, I would imagine.
All in?
We do see Ben move it in.
Yeah, puts it in the middle. I think Georgie's going to be pretty happy to put it in as well.
I think the other players will be happy to see Georgie put it in too.
Quick call. It's going to be a classic flip here for quite a lot of chips.
Yeah, this is for the chip lead. Whoever wins this hand, either Georgie's going to be the huge chip lead or Ben will become the new chip leader.
Yeah, we saw the chip graphic before. The average stack is getting lower and lower with this level increase, so this is huge.
Oof! And right on the flop,
Yeah.
Georgie hits a 10.
Immediately,
and
Bin's getting up, and
is going to send Ben
Game, guys.
home in 5th place.
Thank you.
yeah, unfortunate to see him go. I'm sure a lot of the viewers wanted to see him some more. He's going to finish in 5th place for about $9.1 thousand. Very nice for a $650 buy-in tournament.
Yeah, Ben, you can take the sweatshirt. There you go.
Yeah, you don't have to give that one back.
Nice slide.
That's going to be huge for
Okay.
Georgie here. Now, the overwhelming chip leader is going to be
Okay.
able to put the gas pedal to the floor and run over these shorter stacks now, if he chooses to.
Yeah, and how, I mean, if you're one of the other three, how are you approaching the situation where one person has a commanding chip lead and you're kind of huddled around the other two players? What are you kind of thinking about and considering at this point?
Yeah, I think it's kind of boring, but the answer, I think, is you just got to play a little bit tighter. There's all these short stacks that are kind of just able to go all in versus your opens, so you can't open too wide. The big stack is able to put a ton of pressure as well, so I think just being, conscious of what spots you're taking, how wide you're opening, and how wide you can attack that. And if you notice players potentially not attacking it enough, then you can expand some more.
Thank you.
It does fold around to Ryan in the small blind here with 10-8 suited. Elects to call. And this is a situation where, even with a hand like Jack 2 offsuit here, Georgie could elect to put pressure on Ryan by raising. Does see a flop though, and he's going to flop 2 pair here.
Yeah, why put pressure when you know the Jack 2's coming?
Does fire out a large bet, looks like.
325.
Yeah, it is a very sizable bet. That should get Ryan away, but somewhat meaningful.
He laments the quick fold as he did earlier after flopping the set of 6s. We can see 4th is now guaranteed 13.7K. Pretty significant jump up to 3rd to 20K.
Yeah, the jumps start to really get big here. Next from 3rd to 2nd, roughly 8.5, and then 2nd to 1st, about 11-ish. So a lot of value in laddering here now. When the FT to start, the ladders were a little bit smaller.
And Georgie picking up another premium here.
Yeah, why not?
And it was a game we can see he's approaching 10 million in chips here, with the second closest being Ryan with 2.6. Oh boy, here we go. You can see.
All in.
Wow.
All in.
Yeah, and a pretty gross spot for Lee.
Just does decide to put it in.
Yeah, I think this is probably good. I might be tempted to fold deuces, but 3s you can be ahead of pocket deuces, ace deuce, king deuce. Also just getting a pretty good price. She's going to be off to the races and going to have to dodge some high cards to hold on.
Pretty good flop for Lee.
Yeah, good start. No backdoors available for Georgie. Just going to need an ace or a queen here on the river.
And Lee does survive. Huge double up for Lee.
Yeah, another short stack finding the double up, and I believe that's going to put Lee into 2nd place in chips, now covering Ryan.
It will indeed.
A lot of ups and downs at this final table. Short stacks often hanging on for dear life.
And we do see Yuri move into pretty clear 4th place. Not too far behind Ryan. But we do see Georgie, even after losing that flip, still have almost double 2nd place here.
Yeah, and in configurations like this where the chip leader is so much larger than the next biggest stack, and there's some shorties present, you can see some pretty crazy pre-flop all-ins, or some pre-flop aggression in general, start to manifest. It doesn't seem like Georgie is leaning that way so far at this final table. He's playing a little bit more conservatively, small ball poker. It's been working for him so far. He's been winning the big ones.
Yeah, I mean, and that's sometimes final tables come down to that. Who can win the flips and who can get the best starting hand.
Raise.
I like Georgie showing some aggression here with the king 6 suited. Lee with a very nice hand though in the small blind. I think both flat and 3-bet are probably viable here.
Yeah, my first instinct was it maybe feels like a little bit too much to shove, but I kind of don't hate that option. Roughly 23 bigs it would be for all in.
Yeah.
Call seems fine too.
But does go to the flop here with a dominating hand over the king 6 of Georgie. And Georgie does continue to run pure by flopping middle pair here.
Yeah, nothing for Lee though. 2 overs in the backdoor, flush draw, straight draw. If it's a small bet, I don't think she's going anywhere, but for a little bit over half pot, might be enough to dissuade her. I believe Lee faced a even bigger flop bet from Georgie earlier this final table. She just folds.
Players do seem to be making decisions pretty quickly in their spots, even some of the harder ones we've seen.
Right, everyone wants to get their playing time in.
Yeah.
You can see in the top right, top left, about 13 minutes left in this level.
Looks like we will be having a break after this level too.
Gotcha. Shouldn't be too long though, so don't go anywhere.
2 folds. 3 folds.
Yuri with the queen 9 off of 10 big blinds.
All in.
Does jam.
What's the count?
Ryan asking for a count. Not sure if he's looked at his card yet or not.
Yeah, I would assume not.
Do you look at your cards before the action's on you? That's a common thing that people talk about.
Sometimes I do, but I try not to. I don't think it is a huge thing.
Yeah.
But it is kind of nice to kind of force yourself to pay attention enough to know when the action's on you to look. It's kind of a routine thing. Do you look at your cards before their action's on you?
When I first started playing poker, that was like something that I was always told. You just wait till it's on you to look at your cards. So I've always just done that. Sometimes I'll peek at them if there's like a bunch of action prior, and I'm just like, I know I need like 2 hands here to continue, so I'm just gonna look real quick. But
yeah, I see the value in taking a peek a few seconds early. You get yourself some extra time to think about it.
Yeah. Plus, it can be very fun when you're facing like an all-in, especially when you're the covering stack. You can kind of sweat it in real time.
Yeah.
You look at that first one; it's an ace, and you're like, oh, here it comes. I get the call.
Definitely another part of the fun.
Yeah. Ryan with Queen 10 offsuit here.
Yeah, hard to imagine this doesn't go in the middle.
Yeah, right around 15 big blinds, it looks like. Any value in just
more
calling here
value?
if we don't think Georgie's going to be ISOing too much and we can just kind of see a flop?
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could see that being an argument to developing a limping range of
All
some
right,
kind.
25 was our last break, I think.
And maybe this can slide into that too.
Looks like they are discussing the break.
Yeah, I think they were considering skipping it, but
After this?
Yeah, they might just give the players like time to, and then just start when everyone's back.
Calls 150. Check.
Ryan does call. Pretty good flop for Ryan.
Queen of Hearts as well for some backdoor flushes, straights.
Check.
Yeah, and Georgie continues to kind of just play, play passively here and kind of see what develops.
Yeah, not forcing anything
Yeah,
too crazy. Stepping out of line.
I think I would like to see a bet here from Ryan, especially if we don't think Georgie's going to be bluffing too much. Just kind of, bet something. Bet something small, maybe.
200 and
Yeah, just try to hope you get called by a 3-5-9 every once in a while.
Right. Nice little pickup for Ryan, though.
Something that I've seen a poker streamer do, Daniel Peterson. He streams online and he has an animation for when he peeks his pull card or hole cards that it blocks them at first, so you can kind of sweat it before the action gets around to you, or as the action gets around to you. Kind of fun. But yeah, very much a live thing.
Yeah.
4 folds.
Ryan with a playable hand for here from the button. I'd imagine we just see an open here.
Yeah, it feels a little bit too deep to rip this one all in.
300.
Raise to 300.
Yeah, I've been impressed with Ryan's play so far.
Yeah, he's
Certainly a skilled, knowledgeable player.
Yeah, he's been handling his. He's kind of been, I think, playing with kind of what he's given. I mean, he's been all the way down to like, what, 8 big blinds or something. Now he's kind of hovering around 15. So, kind of and then that's what's nice about tournaments, right? I mean, you have different chip stacks, and it makes every situation unique. And I think part of the trick is kind of learning to navigate all of those different types of scenarios.
Yeah, he's done a good job so far, and an even better job here as he navigates his way to trip aces on the ace-ace-10. Nothing for Lee, though. Probably not getting anything from value.
150.
That is 150.
Chooses the 1 big blind sizing that he faced a few hands earlier.
That's right.
And does, despite that, get the quick fold.
Updated stacks here. Not a ton of changes. Yuri, the clear shorty now after Ryan and Lee both finding their double ups.
Pocket 9s for Ryan here under the gun, which four-handed is essentially the cutoff.
That's right.
$300.
Raise to 300. Seat 1.
Chooses to make it 300K. Yeah, I think Yuri's going to have a tough time continuing with this hand.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's kind of awkward to continue with any of the offsuit connected type hands.
Does choose to fold. Yeah, even something with even a suited hand there, you might be able to peel, and especially when you're kind of the clear shorter stack and there's not as much pressure on you to kind of continue to ladder or you know. So, but 8-5 offsuit just not gonna flop well enough to invest the extra big blind there.
Yeah, as the clear shortest, maybe he can get out and call a little bit wider than, let's say, if there was some other short stacks present. But I think that's just a little too bad of a hand, which he agrees. Ace queen for Lee here on the button.
Yeah, and 20 big blinds. I think. See what Lee decides to do.
Three's all in.
Oh, okay. Lee does choose to move in here.
Yeah, rips it herself.
Is that a stack of whites? Okay.
Ryan playing deliberately here, making, again, kind of making sure everything's sorted and before he checks out his cards.
Yeah, it's easy to make mistakes live if you're used to the online environment. So
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not sure if he's grinding online.
Yeah, Ryan is based in New York,
Really nice.
which is
Gotcha.
unfortunately not a state that
Oh no, no, nice,
you
nice,
can
nice
play
the best.
regulated online poker in. But ooh, Yuri with the welcome sight of jacks here on the button. And 10 big blinds, I think you can still probably just raise with a hand like this and then jam some of your other hands, but jack seems pretty strong.
Yeah, I'd probably
4 raises of 300.
jam
You know how much
10s
you started
even,
with roughly?
maybe 9s.
Yeah, and this puts a hand like Ryan's into a decision here, right? Like facing a jam with king queen off, I feel like is going to be a fold, but right now, I mean, you know, if you feel like you might have some fold equity here, it becomes a lot closer, I think.
Yeah, and also has to be cognizant of this open being into Georgie in the big blind, who has the huge stack, so it's not going to be necessarily a loose range here.
Mm-hmm.
King queen, pretty strong cards to block some of the strongest hands that Yuri can do this with. Kings, queens, ace king, ace queen. So I don't fault him for bluffing, but he such just call, play it a little
I will join this.
more cautiously.
Yeah,
Georgie joins the party.
And I don't know if Yuri's going to love this. Yeah, I think Yuri would have much preferred to see just somebody stick it in and be able to call, but now he has to play a flop, and Georgie flops the flush here.
With Yuri having the jack of hearts as well. This
Yeah.
is,
The ace might save Yuri. You might be able to check this back, and we'll see what develops. But also wouldn't just, I mean, fault him for betting something small here for some, I don't know, just to try to take down a million pot, but million chip pot here.
Yuri finds the bet, and I think this is kind of natural too, given that Yuri's, a lot of his hands that are not going to jam and just min open are going to be a lot of ace-x hands that are either the best value hands like ace king, ace queen, or some of the bluffs like
Very nice hand.
ace 5.
Yuri is going to
Oh
raise.
my God.
Or sorry, Georgie's going to raise, and Yuri's going to not love it.
Yuri shaking his head already, even though he's not put all in just yet. They've got a decent amount to play for behind still.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Yuri make a really nice fold earlier.
Yeah, this would be another incredible fold to find.
Yeah, I mean, you can't think your jacks are ahead.
Oh, yeah.
But having the added equity of the jack of hearts here feels significant. You're just up at, yeah, really nice
This
fold.
guy, dude. Yuri's locked in.
And
Два валета. Червоно.
89.
wow. Oh, and he's going to show it to make him feel real nice.
Nuts.
Certo? Два... Two
Yeah.
checks into one heart.
Very impressive for Yuri. I was going to say you're just given such a good price with the Jack of Hearts,
Yeah.
but like
Big blind range.
if someone's bluffing with the, you know, a better heart, then it's pretty bad. So that's a very, very impressive fold, one that I probably would not be able to find. Well done to Yuri.
Yeah, and it's nice that, I mean, getting able to see that right away gives you, I mean, you know, instead of left wondering there
Yeah.
and sitting on a 7.5 big blind stack, you're feeling like, wow, I should be out right now.
Yeah, you're feeling comfortable. You're like, I'm the GOAT here.
Yeah, so
Aces.
nice
show
by
ace.
Georgie to show that. Oh, and Lee gets the walk with ace king in the big blind.
So you're gonna get a break after this.
Oh, that's funny.
Leader mic's on. We make the seating make it more comfortable for you guys.
Wow.
I had 2-7.
Yes,
You're lucky.
we can
7
confirm
lose, never
that
lose.
Georgie is not lying.
Oh, that's good. I believe this is going to be our
Be on a break after this.
last hand
Don't
before
steal my
break.
blind, I shall stack.
Oh,
Guys,
yeah,
guys,
no.
I need double up, please.
Oh, really?
Sorry, Yuri. I think Ryan's going to
I don't think
be
it's
the last, or at least one person to try to steal the blinds.
yeah.
300.
See, one raises to 300.
Oof. I feel like we've seen a lot of ace king v10s.
Yeah, this is like the third one, maybe.
Yeah, and this is a hand where Lee, I mean, I don't know. I could see a flat, just with Yuri being so small, short stacker.
Yeah.
But does three bet, and I mean Ryan's probably gonna jam here, and it's gonna be tough.
I think if you 3-bet to a non-all-in size, it can't really fold
Yeah.
too often here if you're Lee, although it is gross calling off versus a jam.
And Lee does cover, which helps a tad bit.
Also a great point. See what Ryan decides to do, but I think his decision's fairly obvious here.
Yeah.
Those look like calling chips on the right there.
They are calling chips.
A little bit of deception, potentially. He's trying to raise, but
Balls 925.
Does just call.
yeah, that's very interesting. It's going to be a very big pot now. Less than a pot size bet in Ryan's stack with that 6 big blind stack, the hand before break. I mean, this is...
Wow.
And wow, 10 spike the set once again.
Yeah, and for Lee here, I mean, I could see a very small bet. I could see a check. I think you definitely want to give Ryan some rope to make a mistake here, though. So I would, if she chooses to bet, I would like to see a pretty small bet here, I think.
Yeah, I like the 10% size that we saw earlier in the 3-bet pot.
Yeah, and Ryan does have the ace of hearts, so I mean, versus small bet, he's definitely going to continue, I think.
Yeah, I would have to imagine too, versus a 10%, 20%. But anything above that, I mean,
Yeah.
naked ace of hearts isn't feeling great.
I think that's 300K that she's counted out right there in front of her. That's about, I think that's 4, so we'll see.
Yeah, so a little bit sizing up there to 25% of the pot.
Yeah, and that does represent about 25% of Ryan's stack. But I mean, not jamming pre-flop there does look like it might save Ryan his tournament life.
Absolutely.
But we'll see what develops here.
Yeah, it could definitely stick around, but I think the sticking around with the ace of hearts is just a lot more comfortable versus 200K as opposed to this size.
I agree.
And especially if you're just trying to read into the sizing in general, this kind of feels like
Calls 475.
maybe a bet from a hand that wants some protection, potentially just trying to get the money in by the end in an easier fashion.
Does find the 9.
There's all in.
Wow, okay. And Ryan is going to face an immediate all-in here, and
Oh, yeah, that's not fun.
yeah.
Just kind of hoping your opponent has king, queen, queen, jack.
Yeah, and a pretty quick fold here from Ryan.
Yeah,
I
nice
can see that
fold.
one.
3-seat when you come back.
It would have
Yeah.
been interesting to see if facing a check there, if Ryan would have chose to potentially just check to realize equity, or potentially bluff at it with the ace of hearts there. But
Yeah.
we will not find out. And Lee will pick up a very, very, very significant pot there
Yeah.
with their flop set.
We're going to be going to break here. Don't go anywhere, though. Only 13 minutes. You can see here Ryan and Yuri are now the very short stack, so I imagine some fireworks when we return. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in 13 minutes. Thanks.
Legendary. It's seeing your third Vegas sunrise in a row. Proving you're right, or giving it to your friend who's always wrong. Meeting your hero?
What's up, fellas?
Legendary. Or meeting someone else's hero. Hitting a jackpot from your subway seat. Or how about this? Front row seats. A story you'll tell for the rest of your lives. Or a secret spot that you'll tell everyone about tomorrow. Whatever makes it legendary for you, it can all happen here. BetMGM. Make it legendary.
The all-new Borgata Online. That's some lucky dough. New casino player offer. Win up to 1,000 bonus spins today.
Challenge.
Play Survivor Triple Challenge, only on BetMGM. Your favorite show, now available on your favorite casino app. The tribe has spoken.
Want to form an alliance?
New casino player offer. Deposit for up to 1,000 bonus spins. Take on the wheel for more.
BetMGM is where you leave ordinary for something a little more interesting. With your favorite games, like The Price is Right and Rakin' Bacon. Or in the center of it all with live dealer classics, because interesting leads to exciting, which opens the door to extraordinary. Make it Vegas almost anywhere. BetMGM Casino. Make it legendary. Legendary. It's seeing your third Vegas sunrise in a row. Proving you're right, or giving it to your friend who's always wrong. Meeting your hero?
What's up, fellas?
Legendary. Or meeting someone else's hero. Hitting a jackpot from your subway seat. Or how about this? Front row seats. A story you'll tell for the rest of your lives. Or a secret spot that you'll tell everyone about tomorrow. Whatever makes it legendary for you, it can all happen here. BetMGM. Make it legendary.
The all-new Borgata Online. That's some lucky dough. New casino player offer. Win up to 1,000 bonus spins today.
Challenge.
Play Survivor Triple Challenge, only on BetMGM. Your favorite show, now available on your favorite casino app. The tribe has spoken.
Want to form an alliance?
New casino player offer. Deposit for up to 1,000 bonus spins. Take on the wheel for more.
BetMGM is where you leave ordinary for something a little more interesting. With your favorite games, like The Price is Right and Rakin' Bacon. Or in the center of it all with live dealer classics, because interesting leads to exciting, which opens the door to extraordinary. Make it Vegas almost anywhere. BetMGM Casino. Make it legendary. Legendary. It's seeing your third Vegas sunrise in a row. Proving you're right, or giving it to your friend who's always wrong. Meeting your hero?
What's up, fellas?
Legendary. Or meeting someone else's hero. Hitting a jackpot from your subway seat. Or how about this? Front row seats. A story you'll tell for the rest of your lives. Or a secret spot that you'll tell everyone about tomorrow. Whatever makes it legendary for you, it can all happen here. BetMGM. Make it legendary.
all-new Borgata Online. That's some lucky dough. New casino player offer. Win up to 1,000 bonus spins today.
Challenge.
Play Survivor Triple Challenge, only on BetMGM. Your favorite show, now available on your favorite casino app. The tribe has spoken.
Want to form an alliance?
New casino player offer. Deposit for up to 1,000 bonus spins. Take on the wheel for more.
BetMGM is where you leave ordinary for something a little more interesting. With your favorite games, like The Price is Right and Rake and Bacon. Or in the center of it all with live dealer classics, because interesting leads to exciting, which opens the door to extraordinary. Make it Vegas almost anywhere. BetMGM Casino. Make it legendary.
Welcome back to the Borgata Summer Poker Open here in Atlantic City. We are at the final table. Started with 6 left, made our way down to 4 with 2 shorter stacks in Ryan and Yuri. Lee and Georgie, the bigger stacks here, playing for over $41,000. I'm joined by James Tedrow here in the booth. I'm David Kinane. Welcome back. And a pretty chatty table here. A lot of good vibes.
Yeah, what's not to be happy about? Playing for $41,000. Playing the great game of poker.
I want to see it. Hate to see.
Oh, yeah, no, you're good.
I don't ask people.
Got 30 seconds until we resume play here, and we're going to be, looks like we're going to be moving to the 100K, 150K blind level.
Yeah, it's going to create some interesting dynamics. Normally, as I'm sure a lot of our viewers can tell, the small blind is about half of the big blind. But in this level, that's not the case. Going to create some opportunities for the small blind to maybe play hands that would normally fold or aggress in another manner, given that there's a lot of money relative to the big blind in the pot.
Yeah, and when you take in the fact that there's a big blind ante, you know, you start the pot with almost 3 big blinds, which is half of Yuri's stacker at this point. So I mean, this is a lot to play for before the first card is even dealt here.
Yeah, it creates a lot of spots where, you know, at a normal FT you might start to see open jamming ranges hover in around like 15 big blind region, but When you have that much in the middle, it can get upwards of 20 big blinds, even 25 big blinds potentially.
Too short stack.
Yeah, we're going to see Lee right on the button here.
I'll take a walk now.
Okay, one hand good.
Yeah, I mean, even the hand like Jack-9 suited there, I think she definitely could have just jammed there, actually, against two smaller stacks. Just as an example of what David was just talking about.
Jack free for.
Right, especially since the small blind stack, if they were to fold, it knows that the big blind stack has to be very tight, given that the small blind is out.
Yep.
Elects to pass, though. No harm, no foul. You can see the current payouts. Each player guaranteed $13.7 thousand. Next pay jump being worth just over $6,000.
Two premiums right off the bat here with a four-handed ace-jack offsuit is going to be a very strong hand. Lee under the gun, and then Yuri with the small stack on the button. I think Yuri is destined to get all in here.
Absolutely. I don't think any hand that Lee opens here is going to be folding to this all-in. See a little smile on Yuri's face before he puts in the chips.
Yeah, imagine we'll see a quick call from Lee here, and
Seven deuce calls.
and unless Lee gets very lucky here, we're gonna likely see a chop.
That was pretty funny of Lee to
Hearts,
to nod when he said fold.
No clubs, no clubs, no clubs, no clubs, only hearts. Only hearts, please.
Very alluding to what I was talking about.
Only hearts.
No diamond, no diamond, no diamond.
And
Hearts.
the rainbow flop, we are going to see a chop.
No help.
Oh, diamond.
Fortunately, that diamond's no longer useful for you, but chop it up. Not the worst result for Yuri. Chops up the blinds.
Yeah.
I don't remember if I had there.
Not much changed just yet.
It's 100, yeah?
As a reminder, if you're looking to get into the action here in Atlantic City, play some of the Summer Poker Open, there's some more flights of the Almighty Stack running today and tomorrow. Also the main event starting early next week.
Yeah, you can also win your way into either of those tournaments through online qualifiers that are running on BetMGM right now.
James here in the booth secured his 2,700 main event seat through a $25 to $250 Satty and then winning that $250 Satty. So you can get in for pretty cheap.
It's true.
Georgie putting on the pressure through a raise here against Lee.
And I like to see that. I like to see Georgie pick up the pressure there a little bit, especially against the second biggest stack here, who has a lot of incentive to just kind of tighten up here and wait for the other two people to bust.
Yeah, it can be easy to fall into that same mindset of we're both pretty deep. We don't really have to play a big pot here, but I think playing the game of chicken there, being the first one to put in the raise is normally just a good spot to set yourself in. Likely not going to get fought back too much.
Absolutely. Ryan with a pretty nice hand here under the gun, ace-3 suited, 10 big blinds. Facing kind of an awkward situation with Yuri being the
300?
absolute shortest stack. Elects to just min-raise off of this stack.
Yeah, that's a very close spot. I feel like either all-in or the min-raise seem okay.
Mm-hmm. And Georgie is going to just call on the button here with ace-10 off. And this is just, this is just a tough situation for Ryan now, having to play post-flop out of position against the chip leader.
On the other hand, though, if he just went all in, I would assume Georgie would be fairly likely to call.
Agreed, yeah.
Save himself some chips if he's able to get away. And Georgie finds the 10 on the flop to mostly seal the deal. Ryan going to need some diamonds
Georgie's just gonna move all in right away here and take down the pot.
Yeah, very quick bet.
I fold 7 check.
Everybody had a straight
If
there.
I see a flop, push all in.
Yuri's getting ready to move all his chips in, as he should be as the short stack. Just looking for that opportunity at this point.
Visualizing the all-ins.
Yes.
If you're also curious and learning more about the events running at the Borgata this week and next week, you can check out Poker News covering this stop, every tournament, every winner, every update.
Georgie's just going to call the big blind here under the gun instead of raising. I think this might be the first limp we've seen in the 54 hands we've played so far at this final table.
Yeah, and I would assume that's mostly due to the tiny stacks in both blinds. But it is notable and potentially creating a way for Ryan to attack here.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely jamming there could have been an option, I think, for Ryan with the ace in the big blind and potentially just picking up the pot there. But we'll see a flop here, and does flop an ace.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. But obviously, I think a jam pre-flop is certainly on the table. Somewhat noteworthy for Yuri to complete in the small blind with 10 deuce off. We talked about players potentially playing the small blind a little bit wider due to the structure as of now.
And Ryan going to find a small bet here. Likely will just take it down.
And he does. Picks up the pot one way or another. Now I assume he's going to play relatively locked up until Yuri is forced in the big blind to commit most of his stack.
Yeah, and Yuri will be on the button here, so we'll have 2 hands before they are the big blind. So if you're in Yuri's shoes here, you're really hoping to pick up at least some type of hand you can jam the next 2 hands.
Yeah, and that's kind of a hand that you can probably do something with, but
Yeah.
it seems close.
Yeah, I mean...
Because on the flip side, if you fold, I mean, we can see it in this specific example, Ryan has a hand that he's fairly likely to go all in with himself, create some situations where he can get a ladder. Yuri decides to move in himself. Ryan, sort of an awkward position with ace-4.
Yeah, it does have to commit 400K of his 1.4 million stacked to call, but...
yeah, I don't mind the fold,
yeah.
especially Georgie in the big blind is going to be calling any 2 cards likely. Or no, wow.
Yeah.
He finds a fold.
Yuri's going to be ecstatic to get that through, I think, without having to play a flop.
Yeah,
or to see a flop, I suppose.
I am a little bit surprised just given the price, but...
Yeah.
He decides to look for a better spot. Jack-10 likely behind the jamming range.
Yeah, and picking up that pot does give Yuri a little bit more wiggle room here.
Yeah, another orbit of life.
Does get to fold that hand. Yeah, and as you pointed out earlier, Ryan's really kind of just incentivized to just wait for Yuri to bust here and secure the ladder.
They are a bit closer now, though, after he picks up that pot.
That is definitely true.
It's not likely off of 3 big blind stack anymore. Gonna see a limp pot here. The ace-king 4. Georgie with a flush draw. Decides to take the betting lead, given that this flop probably pretty good for him. Takes it down.
One chips 100 on the stack. On the stack. No.
Yuri asking something about. Oh, I think there might have been a dirty stack there.
Yeah, cleaning it up. In good nature.
Yes.
Sure, that obviously was not intentional.
Lee with Jack 6 off here. Yeah, probably good enough to just jam, and we're going to see a call from Yuri here with his King Queen off, I would imagine.
No ace, but it's pretty good.
Yeah. It's no ace, but it's the, without a pair, it's the second best situation you can see. There you go.
Pretty good spot for Yuri to find a double up here. Put himself back in contention. Needs to dodge a jack or a 6 as of now.
And there is a jack right on the flop to give Lee pretty commanding lead here.
Yeah, Yuri at risk, gonna need a king or a queen to stay alive, or else he's gonna be eliminated in 4th place, which he is. Good game to Yuri. He made some incredible folds early on in this final table that I think a lot of players would have gone broke with earlier, so shout out to him for making it this far.
Yeah, very well played final table by Yuri. But that's the way it goes sometimes, and does get 4th place for $13,700. Very nice score though. And I'm sure we'll continue to see Yuri here at the Borgata.
Yeah, I hope he's able to enjoy that. Obviously painful not getting in the top 3 or not closing it out even, but should be happy with a score like that.
Yeah, and Ryan might even be happier than Lee to see her win that pot, to be honest, because now Ryan gets to secure $20,000 and now is able to kind of essentially try to double up, try to get back into contention here to kind of try to put himself in position to play heads up if he can do that. But first step for Ryan is really going to be to try to find a double up here.
Yeah, that was a $6,000 elimination for Ryan. Very happy at the sight of that. Can also see the trophies on the left there behind Ryan is what they're playing for. The BetMGM and the Borgata trophy on the right.
And Lee's gonna take down a pot here. Yeah, I've been really impressed with everyone's play at this final table. I think everyone's played very solid. No huge mistakes. It's been a great afternoon of poker here so far.
Yeah, and seemingly preparing for a solid heads-up match if they're able to knock out Ryan soon. A lot of depth, but one double can end those plans quickly.
Yeah, and Ryan with an ace here in the small blind is certainly going to be enough to jam if facing, if he's folded to, which he is here. And Georgie with 6s in the big blind. I think we're going to see all in and a call here.
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate for Ryan. Definitely a hand you have to jam, though. His stack, very small. 6, 7 big blinds.
Oh. All right, here we go. Unless Ryan could get lucky, we're gonna be heads up in the 6 max, but let's see what happens here.
Yeah, gonna need an ace for now to hold on.
Yeah, you can see Georgie's a 69% favorite.
Sure, he's not sweating it too much because he got the main ladder versus the other shorty already.
Right.
But this would be a great spot to find a double up. 2 spades on the board.
But Georgie does flop the set.
Oh, yeah.
And there's the full house to secure it.
Yeah.
Good luck, guys.
GG's to Ryan. New coming pro. Very solid performance here at this final table. I think he demonstrated he knows what he's doing. Unfortunately, he couldn't get any more ladders, but he did a good job at navigating it, getting his way up to the 3rd place for $20,000.
Yeah, for sure. And here we're going to see a really fun heads-up battle, I think, between Georgie and Lee here.
Big blind, yeah. Now I have to be small blind, or what should I do?
We'll see if they decide to bring the trophies over. Be nice to get a better view of those.
Yeah, or at least give him a quick
Okay.
flash.
Yeah.
I was big blind.
Figuring out the quick details of
No.
button placement.
So small. You're small.
Yeah.
Small. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Nice game.
You wanna all in, eh?
Huh?
Yeah,
All
kind
in,
of
all in?
when your head's up, the
let's
small
see.
blind, who's
Let's
usually
see,
out of
huh?
position to
Okay.
the big
You
blind,
see
is now
first.
in position to the big blind. So it's kind of a little bit of a change versus
I am
blind battles
the
here,
first,
but
An unnatural flip.
yeah.
Oh, you first. Oh, okay. See that?
Okay,
All
raise.
right. And we see the first hand of heads up start here with both players sharing the queen. Georgie with the better kicker in the 10, though, but Lee is suited.
I don't know if you caught that at the beginning. It looked like Georgie was kind of hinting first hand, go all in, trying to just flip it out, but
50.
Lee's here to battle.
Yeah.
Once again, if you're enjoying the stream, make sure to toss the stream a like, a subscribe. Helps us out to keep putting these streams on. And a fold from Lee with the queen deuce suited.
Yeah, we can see at this point both players are guaranteed $28,000 and $575.
Yeah, about a
300.
12.5K heads up match, just about.
Oh.
Yeah, 150.
Hefty.
150.
I think that's our Guerrilla Gaming team
Don't look at it, it's not yours.
moving some stuff around, putting the trophies
Oh, yeah, there come the
on
trophies.
the table.
The second? First and second?
Just a little added pressure for the players. Get to stare at the trophies while making your decisions now.
Of course.
Okay.
I guess it's a little better than staring at a huge stack of cash.
Yeah,
but,
like the yeah, WSOP main.
Yeah. 2 trophies, is that correct?
That is.
Wow.
I think it was only for 2 tournaments for select trophies in the past, but I think for all the live stream final tables now, they're giving away the BetMGM logo trophy and the Borgata Hotel trophy.
That's very nice. BetMGM does a great job with their trophies. Even their online trophies are always very nice as well.
Oh, yeah. It's usually a pretty common discussion amongst the commentators, which they prefer. I really like the BetMGM trophy, but I think a lot of the
Okay, then I didn't see this. Okay.
older players like the Borgata.
Well, luckily the players don't have to choose. They can just take both, I guess. I guess a limp pot here. Lee with a pair of 8s here, choosing to check it back, which is definitely defensible. Ace on the turn.
Even feeling comfortable about her 8, potentially.
How much she has?
Yeah, for sure. Lee,
How much
originally
you got?
from China, now residing in New Jersey. Housewife who's played poker for 20 years.
Yeah, she's got a
Oh, that's all right.
fairly
So
long
oh, okay.
Hendon mob with
That's all-
some impressive track records
You can see?
in the daily turbos, winning a bunch of them.
Like
nice
this.
nice
This size.
camera zoom from the trophies there.
Okay.
This is 20.
Very
And this is
impressive.
20.
Okay. So, this is easy, right? See?
They're very large trophies too.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's funny you mentioned the stacks of cash. I believe for some of the other final tables, they do bring physical cash to the table and set it out along with the trophies. Maybe not for this one.
So it's around 6 million. Yeah.
Georgie's been also playing poker for quite a while, 15 years.
you too, right? You see? Oh, okay.
Currently a business owner, does not play poker professionally, but clearly a skilled poker player here.
Yeah, if you're able to make your way past 400 other competitors to the final 2, you have to have at least something working for you.
What's the total?
Married with 3 children and enjoys playing soccer.
16. Okay, so you have 6.
Hey, me too. Hope
You're
they're-
married with 3 children, or you enjoy playing soccer?
The soccer part.
Oh,
I
okay.
am
Okay.
a little young for 3 children. Hope they're watching along, though, cheering him on in this deep heads-up match. 40 big blinds effective.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I feel like this final table hasn't been super short, hasn't been super deep. Nice little middle ground, but now heads up, we are fairly deep. It does feel like it's going to take a couple good hands here to kind of see a lot of chips go in the pot. Kind of see both players kind of feeling it out. Nothing too crazy here. Do see a raise by Lee with the Queen 10 offsuit, very standard. Georgie with the kind of a side call with the Jack 2 suited here, but again, very standard.
Yeah, we saw Georgie take more of the small ball approach for the beginning of the FT, but seemingly switching up vibes a little bit for the heads-up match, immediately asking if you just want to flip for it.
And a very interesting turn here. It's going to bring in a straight draw for Georgie and the flush draw, and Lee with the pair of 10s and also a gutter. Going to face a bet from Georgie and a quick call from Lee.
Yeah, pretty sizable bet, too. 600 into 800, I think that was.
Ace of clubs on the river is going to give Lee the check mark. We'll see what Georgie decides to do here with the Jack high. Does check, which is going to allow Lee to check back and take down a very nice pot.
I was going to say Lee potentially has a hand that would be fun to turn into a bluff, but probably just has enough showdown.
Yeah, and that's going to bring Lee within 13 big blinds of Georgie. So this is becoming closer and closer.
Miles being so kind in the chat, saying, listen up, chat, we have 2 heads-up wizards in the booth. I don't know about that, especially heads-up with the big blind ante. But we can do our best.
I don't know if we've ever played each other heads up online, actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah, I don't think we have either, which is very surprising, actually. Because I don't think we've chopped anything either.
I wouldn't chop with you.
Oh, you're too kind.
Fold.
Lee with the raise with the ace. 6, takes it down. Inching closer to Georgie.
Yeah. That is quite surprising that we haven't played each other heads up, because I feel like we play each other very, very frequently in pretty small field tournaments.
Yeah. It's true. We're putting it into existence, though, so probably a couple Sundays from now we'll be heads up in the BetMGM 250 main.
Nah, screw that. I'll see you heads up in the 500 Almighty on Monday.
Ah, there you go, yeah. I might chop with you with that if you want.
I'll think about it.
Lee getting another ace heads up here, which is any ace heads up is going to be very strong. It's going to take it down again.
Yeah, I think Lee's going to start putting together that a lot of pressure heads up is going to work. You know, you're just going to be dealt some pretty bad hands very often when your heads up, forcing you to play weaker hands that you may not normally be used to playing. Like a king is kind of hard to have heads up. Uncomfortable, though, facing aggression.
Two very nice hands here. 2 suited kings.
Raise.
Raise from Georgie.
fairly sizable
700K,
raise.
yeah, wow, okay.
I don't think we've seen this size yet. Heads up. This is about 5 big blinds.
Yeah, and that bigger sizing is going to get Lee to fold, actually.
Yeah. I wonder if... I assume she reads into the size up a little bit there.
Yeah, and I mean, Lee could just be considering. I mean, Lee's taking down a good number of pots, just kind of raising a standard sizing pre-flop, and, you know, Georgie is folding. Granted, she's had a few aces here, which has helped, but maybe she's picking up on that and kind of just wants to keep the pots smaller and kind of lower her variance and just kind of see what develops. And by making that bigger sizing, you're just kind of increasing the pot size, lower SPR on the flop, and kind of have to just go with it. But you know, if you can just win pots hand by hand, I mean, why not?
Yeah, if there's going to be a relatively smooth ride to the finish, no need to take the wild one and risk potentially an error.
Yeah, even a hand like this, just kind of limping in with their 9-7 here, and gonna flop a pair of 7s, and could just be a pretty easy bet and take it here.
Yeah, I think it will.
Yeah.
A limp, though, from Lee, indicating that she's not just going to have a raise range here, heads up. Which I think is smart. You want to
for sure
mix it up a little bit between the limps and the raises. Just don't want to be too obvious in which hands you're including in which range. Should be a mix of both.
Raise.
Georgie with another big sizing here, 4x pre.
Yeah, and it gets another suited hand to fold, this time the Jack-5 of diamonds. These big raises are pushing people out of the pots here.
Yeah, definitely.
Versus hands that have decent amount of equity.
Yeah, and we still are playing with the small blind that's 2/3 the big blind here, so there is that consideration too. Bigger pots.
Yeah, I kind of did forget about that in relation to the sizes pre-flop. Likely creates incentives to go a little bit bigger.
Pretty rough hand for Lee here, but again, if you're able to see pots flops in position, you should probably do it. She does limp in.
Especially for such a cheap price.
Yeah, for sure.
I would not be surprised if a computer told you with these blinds to not really fold any hand.
Georgie is going to flop trip 5s here.
Yeah, and a somewhat decent hand to start bluffing with. Lee chooses not to, though, and hits a 3 on the turn.
Yeah, the 3's probably going to cost her some money here.
Yeah, not necessarily expecting ace-X to always just check back on the pre-flop, so I feel like a 3 can feel fairly comfortable here in calling once, and wow.
Georgie did bet almost pot there. And
that's a sharp fold.
That's a very good fold from Lee.
That's wild. Seeing some really impressive plays from this final table.
You did say that Lee has quite a bit of experience on Hendon Mob in kind of smaller field daily tournaments. So, I mean, Lee might have lots of experience heads up. I think she's started off very, very, very solid here.
Yeah, I was doing a quick scroll, and I think she had a couple week period where she was just winning every daily at a casino, I think. And yeah, likely has found herself in a lot of final tables heads up situations, so I'm sure she's no stranger.
So Georgie does look like he might be taking an approach of raising almost every button here. We've seen raises the past 3 hands, 3 different sizings, but all on the larger side with a variety of hands. Last one, 5-3 suited.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see if he starts mixing in any limps at some point. Usually the limps are more common at the shallower depths. The deeper you are, the more you raise. But the limps are present kind of whenever, unless you're, I don't know, maybe 150 bigs deep.
Lee with a really nice hand here, ace-10 suited. Gonna raise it up to a little over 2x.
Call.
Do see a call from Georgie here.
Yeah, 8-7, not too shabby either. 36% equity.
You see a pair of 10s for Lee. And Georgie's just going to come out firing with an open-ended straight draw here.
Looked like a big size, too. 500K into 800.
Yeah. Not an amazing straight draw here either, with a jack also completing the higher straight, and the club's out there, so even if you hit a straight, you're not feeling great when a club comes.
Right, it does produce some awkward situations later. A diamond as well.
Oof. Georgie just immediately goes all in here for,
That's
what is
huge.
that, is that almost 3x pot?
Yeah, I mean,
Well, actually, effective, well, they're about the same.
Yeah, I think this is just about 3x pot.
Yeah, and if Lee calls here, she's in a dominating position with the pair of 10s and the diamonds.
This is so hard to find, though. Like, I mean, you have the flush draw as well. Second pair cannot feel like it's good here, though.
I wonder, the fast action by Georgie there is interesting.
Yeah, there's definitely something to be read into that. Sounds like he may have already had his mind up on the flop of what he was going to do on the turn if he jams that quickly.
Yeah.
Is a king always doing this? It feels like a huge jam to do with a king. Kind of repping some stronger two pairs, sets, straights.
Yeah.
A lot of sets you might hear from pre-flop, though.
Let's go.
Did she say let's go?
Let's go,
Lee.
Lee.
She's making the call, and she's gonna love it when she turns over, when he turns over his hand here.
What a sick call from Lee here. That is an unbelievable find for
Nice hand, huh?
about a 3x pot jam on the turn.
You won like that against.
And Lee is 86% favored here to take a commanding lead heads up.
Yeah, wow. She's able to hold here. She's going to be in great position.
And she does.
Wow.
Takes a 13.6 million pot.
Monster swing in this heads-up match. Started roughly equally around the 60 to 70 big blind mark, and that's going to be a monster pot headed Lee's way to make Georgie the short stack now.
I love it. I love it. The let's go, and just puts in the call.
Let's go, Lee. Yeah, Georgie's going to need some help now, down to 16 big blinds, just over 2 million chips.
And Lee has already surpassed her her largest career score by quite a bit, and a first prize of $41,000 would
yeah, that would
definitely
smash
be
that.
a career high for Lee. They're counting it out here, but when all it's all said and done, we're gonna see Lee with a 91 big blind chip advantage to Georgie's 16.
Yeah, it's very impressive. And credit for Georgie for being willing to pull the trigger there. You know, he has a hand that is a little bit awkward, kind of like you said. You're not super happy when you hit the top end of your straight draw there. You know, you still lose to some other straights, but he was fearless.
Yeah, I mean, Georgie definitely has kind of flipped a switch here, heads up, to kind of turn on the aggression, which, you know, aggression in poker is never a bad thing. And you know, maybe Georgie was kind of aware that he did have a little bit of a tighter image going heads up, and maybe was trying to play off of that. But Lee just kind of fearlessly makes the correct call there.
Yeah, and for what it's worth, I'm not sure she makes that call without the diamonds there.
That's
so,
true.
You know, if a non-diamond comes out, or if it's just a different ace-10, then I think that bet might even work due to that image that you just said, you know, we kind of cultivated at the beginning of the FT. Just unfortunate to to kind of run into a hand that improved on the turn there.
So Georgie does move in here with a little under 50, what's that?
Yeah, just over.
It's a little, just over 15.
15.
With the ace, which is very standard.
Queen 6 kind of giving it a thought, trying to feel how Georgie's jam range might look here. Potentially kind of just lost a big pot, might think that he's shoving some weak stuff that Queen 6 could be ahead of. Oh, she hadn't looked at her cards yet, never mind. But now she is thinking about it.
Yeah, there could definitely be a thinking he's on tilt. You also just don't want to double him up right away either.
Right, when you have this much of a commanding chip lead, you're going to have your spots to finish it off.
Yeah. Does have piles of chips in front of her now. Just kind of. Call. Okay.
Let's
Here we
go
go.
once again. Lee trying to finish it off here, what she just started after the massive collision between the two.
Yeah, and if Lee can find a Queen 6 or some hearts here, she'll become the 6 max champion and take down both of those trophies that you see there. Queen. Oh.
Lucky.
Queens.
2 queens in the windows. Gonna just about seal it up.
And there it is.
Congratulations to Lee Lang.
That was an impressive final table.
Yeah, she just executed really well there. Finding a great call heads up to earn herself the trophies.
And $41,000.
Yeah, definitely. Shout.
I will have a photo session.
Shout out to our team here at Guerrilla Gaming for helping the production side as well. And shout out to Georgie for his second place finish, earning himself, I believe, $28,000.
Yeah, certainly a nice payday for both of these talented poker players.
Yeah, in the moment it's never going to feel great coming in second, but I think in a little bit he'll be very happy about it. And you can see.
Look at that, loving those trophies.
Lee quite happy to be taking these down. Yeah, what an awesome performance. I mean, the highlight that is obviously in our heads right now is the heads-up call there with the ace-10 of diamonds.
This is great to see.
Yeah, she's loving it.
You love to see the excitement in poker. This is what it's all about.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this is what you dream of, right? a deep run in a big field.
Yeah, enjoy it, Lee. You played very well.
Yeah, this is great. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in for this. This is a very entertaining final table, a lot of swings as well, and finish it off with a bang. So thank you for tuning in. We're going to be having some additional live streams throughout the rest of this week and into next week. I believe our next tournament final table will be Monday of the Almighty Stack at 12:30 p.m. Don't miss that. Thank you for tuning in. My name's David Kinane. I am with James Tedrow. Shout out for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.